Pieces second, London Tower down the outside, but Academic might be stealing this one. Academic's gone 5 in front. London Tower coming on now. London Tower, and she's a masterpiece. Academic is 16th to go, and this has been a brilliant ride by Justin Stein. London Tower too late, and Academic has won the Oaks.
You know, originally we talked about it, we said no, we're not, doesn't matter what happens, but I guess if she run real good, you'd have to consider it, yeah.
I think she's a really good horse.
I've won a bunch of stakes, but there's not an Oaks picture on the wall, so we certainly have room for one.
I thought if Karen was doing her thing in front, she'd come and get her if she was okay, you know, and she proved she was that day. I think she's been in the one hole a few times, and her races are just beaten, not very far, but when she's clear on the outside, she just runs a way better race. Actually, she bothered the other filly of mine that won the race down the backside, and she dropped back to last as Tis Imaginary came on and won, but Crumlin never gave it up. Actually, she almost got up for second.
She showed us from the first day of training, like, I've never seen a horse so smart in my life, and I waited and waited. I didn't want to breeze her too early, but everything she just did it with such class, and just she looked so graceful doing it. So I was really excited about her right from the start. If she wins impressively, I'd say you have to give her a chance. Considering we've had fillies winning the plate in the past, I think you have to give her an opportunity, although I think there's nothing wrong with winning the Triple Tiara.
She's got away by 4 lengths. Karen's clear, now 3. Gamble's Ghost has a task here. They go to the final furlong, and Karen has stolen this one. Karen well ahead. Gamble's Ghost in second. It's a forlorn task because Karen has really been judged to a T here. Jesse Campbell takes the Princess Elizabeth on Karen.
I guess we just, you know, took the races as they came. We thought she would really like the grass, which she does, and took a shot at the Natalma, which is of course the greatest stake, and it was a win in your in race. Then we kind of went back to a race that we thought we could win, I believe, which was a sprint, and went from the sprint to the Princess Elizabeth. And you know, you always worry 2 turns. The sire was a much better turf horse than he was poly horse, but she went to lead that day and just kept marching and run real good. When we bought her, they said her nickname was Satan. She's pretty tough. This isn't a little kid's horse. She will eat you, bite you, kick you. She's not very nice to, she's much nicer with a bridle on.
I've never seen a horse so smart in my life, and I waited and waited. I didn't want to breeze her too early, but everything she just did it with such class, and just she looked so graceful doing it. So I was really excited about her right from the start. Definitely. The plans were actually not to run in the Princess Elizabeth if Catch a Glimpse was to win the Breeders' Cup, because we knew at that point we'd have no chance of getting the Champion 2-year-old filly. But the more we thought about it, the more we realized that, you know what, she deserved the chance to run in the Princess Elizabeth. And so yeah, we were aiming towards that, and if we wanted to run the Oaks next year, we thought it was great to have that race in her.
Diva and Put the Blame on Me, well clear of Karen, who's under a drive back there from Luis Saez. Karen not going on with the top 2, who are well clear coming to the top of the stretch. It is Bally.
It's a real mystery. She ran a terrible race at Gulfstream. I haven't got a clue what happened. She just didn't show up. That wasn't the Karen I was used to seeing. Usually she breaks good from the gate, and Jesse'd have a hand, you know, have her in his hands, kind of, and she'd be pulling him. I was shocked. Luis Saez, very good rider, rides a bunch of horses for me down there. He kind of was, maybe she didn't break that great, and he started to send her, and the more he sent her, the further back she ran. I was in shock, and you know, I kind of couldn't wait to get her home, to get her back to trying the surface, because she certainly didn't like Gulfstream Park.
I really believe that she didn't like the racetrack. I know she's an honest filly, but you could see coming right out of the gate that she was climbing and wanted no part of it, so I contributed completely to the track. Obviously, yeah, I had this sinking feeling in my heart, but she trained so fantastic when she got back here that I said there's no way she's going to run like that. I knew she was going to run hard and run well.
Well, her works were really good, but until you run them, you never really know. Owner was very, very worried. He thought maybe that was it. But she trained real well, and she ran a real good race in the Lady Angela. We gave Doyle's horse 7 pounds, I think, and she ran a real good race that day. It was the first time we'd ever run her 7/8, which is a bit of a tricky distance. We were on the lead. Very happy with that race. Set her up to run good in the Celine, which was unfortunately 2 weeks back. You can win this race off 7/8 races, but I think it's tough. I think it's going to be a challenge for those horses that hadn't been 2 turns, especially with the way the track's playing. It's a tiring type track. And I'm happy that a lot of them didn't go in the 2 turns. I think it's a stamina race. 1.8's a long way, and you better be fit. Ivan Dalis' filly, I think, deserves to be the favorite. We beat her once before in the Princess Elizabeth, and I'm hoping to beat her again on Oaks Day.
So how's Karen coming into this race?
She's doing real well. She's had one good work, and she's going to work again tomorrow morning, and hopefully that'll get us to the big dance.
She did great last year. Took her a while to break a maiden right at the end of the year, and I was trying to do that with her because she'd run so hard all year. And I knew I wasn't going to take her away because she needed some time off after a long year, and she went home to where she was born, Windhaven, and she had a great winter there. And she's done great so far this spring. She's done everything right. And I don't think she'll have any trouble with the distance at all. I thought if Karen was doing her thing in front, she'd come and get her if she was okay, you know, and she proved she was that day. She's been in the 1 hole a few times, and her races are just beaten, not very far. But when she's clear on the outside, she just runs a way better race. Inside the 1 hole again, just didn't work out for her, and it worked for the other filly. Actually, she bothered the other filly of mine that won the race down the backside, and she dropped back to last as Tis Imaginary came on and won. But Crumlin never gave it up. Actually, she almost got up for second. It would mean a lot, you know. Bill Duffy, my partner, great, beautiful guy. We've had some success together. This would be the biggest thing that happened for us, which would be very nice. And she was to be sold a few times and never got sold. And then she was in a 2-year-old sale this spring in April in Ocala. Last spring. And she worked really fast for the Breeze show and got a chip in her knee. So we had to stop and take the chip out. She didn't go through the sale. Then she came here, and you know, she ran very well. She won, then she won the Franfalouche, her second start. And then she ran in the Glorious Song in the fall, finished 5th. But she came out of it with what appeared like a slap fracture, but it wasn't. It was a badly bruised knee, the same one that got hurt before. So we treated that some hyaluronic acid, and she had 2 months stall rest, and she was at the farm at Windhaven also all winter, and was here all winter, didn't go away. And I ran her in a star shoot because I really didn't have anywhere else to run. She was 3rd, got a little tired, and then she ran back into Fury and won it, and was very impressive doing it. I really wasn't sure, you know, Tis Imaginary trained great, but Crumlin had just run great, so it was very hard to separate them. Dublin Diva broke her maiden in the fall. We bought her as a yearling from Medina Springs for $25,000, and Bill Duffy and I own her, and she did everything great. And then we took our time getting her to the races, and she had a little hiccup in the middle of the year, had to go home. And then she came in and she won a very nice maiden race. She won very easily. And I'd sent her and Garvo Colleen together to Ocala, where they were turned out, and they did the same process, and they came to me at Palm Meadows, and I would have thought of running her there. I just didn't really have enough time, so I just brought her here knowing I could run here. She ran against Colts first time because her race didn't go, and she was second to a nice horse of Mark Cassie's by Lonhro. And then she won a really good allowance race, non-winners at 2, going 7/8, beat Samson's filly, who's running in the Oaks. And I think she's a really good horse.